The year was 1984. Maggie Thatcher was in Downing Street, and Ronald Reagan had just gone into the White House. He was making the Soviets nervous. Their economy was failing them. They were falling behind in technology and the arms race. Then came that fateful day. The Soviets shot down a civilian airliner, suspecting it of spying in Soviet territory. War seemed inevitable. Tensions continued to rise along the border between the Warsaw Pact and NATO countries, until suddenly they struck. I was captain of HMS Conqueror, of Falklands War fame, and we were actually out on patrol in peacetime conditions when the orders came through, telling us war had been declared, the Soviets had attacked, Soviet and Warsaw Pact shipping was free game, and so we moved into position to start our first war patrol. Slightly undercrewed and without our full complement of torpedoes, we were tasked with attacking a Soviet task force on replenishment duties. We were going to war. So in the Barents Sea we came across a small Soviet convoy, and immediately my sonar men got to work trying to find out exactly what we were up against here.
Con, dive at 4-5 feet, dive high.
I brought the boat up to periscope depth. I wanted to personally take a jolly good look at what we were fighting.
Con, helm, steady course.
And in this scope I had the pleasure to see 4 enemy ships, 3 escorts, and 1 armed merchantman.
Con sonar, master 3 is classified as merchant.
They appeared to be sailing with a rather lackadaisy effort, almost as if they felt safe that they were home on the return leg of their journey. After all, this was Soviet territory we were in here, the Barents Sea, north of the Soviet coast. So we dived to the depths and prepared to fire our first torpedo of the whole war.
Shoot 2-1, aye sir.
Come right to 144. Helm
And it was
aye.
but a few seconds after launching our first torpedo, we came under depth charge attack.
Con sonar regained contact on master 3 bearing 118.
The charge is raining down around us. It would appear the Soviet effort to appear slovenly, undisciplined, was all a ruse. They must have known we were following them the whole time, and were drawing us in, ready to ambush us. But if the Soviets thought they could outbox a British bulldog, they were sorely mistaken. Not a man among us flinched. We just continued on our course, watching our torpedo close with the enemy.
Con, helm, steady course.
Our first target was a frigate, and my torpedo officers used the wire to keep their weapon engaged with the enemy, as she weaved in an attempt to lose the track of the torpedo. Then, for some unknown reason, the enemy captain decided to turn head-on towards the torpedo. It was a fatal mistake.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 1, last bearing 144. Contact breaking up.
This was our first confirmed kill of the whole war. My men showed no emotion at all upon hearing the explosion on the surface. They took it as a matter of course, as if they had just successfully moored up on the dockside. But we felt sorry for the frigate's crew, fellow sailors abandoning ship and expecting very little help from their comrades while we still lurked in the area. But we still had a job to do. The rest of the enemy convoy converged on the site of the sinking, listening and probing the depths, hoping to hear us. I ordered the helmsman to take us over the wreck. Our British crew would blanch at the idea of bombarding a friendly wreck, and I also hoped the sound of the wreck might mask us, but I was wrong. The Soviets are a ruthless enemy. Their sense of honour is different to ours, and this enemy held little sentimentality to the graveyard of hundreds of their comrades. Under this second barrage of death charges, we suffered some damage to our propulsion system and our hull. But our crew stood its ground, remained on course, remained quiet, and we fired our second torpedo of the conflict.
Shoot tube 2. Aye, sir.
This time our target was a much larger Quertier-class frigate, and all our captain did to save her was turn in the opposite direction to which the torpedo came from.
On our lost contact, Master 2, last bearing 216, contact breaking up.
Some of the younger crew shared a silent celebration at the sinking of this second target, knowing that we just destroyed an anti-submarine warfare frigate. And naturally, the armed merchantman continued on her course, refusing to stop to pick up survivors as they plunged into the cold sea. After a time, I brought the boat back up to periscope depth. I wanted to make sure that we only had 2 enemy ships remaining, and no more had come to their rescue. And indeed, a Quertier-class frigate and the armed merchantman were all that remained of the small enemy convoy that we'd ran into hours ago. Satisfied, we dived back for the depths, and were shocked when the Ugra turned and came head-on towards us. She had no way of harming a submerged submarine. To this day, I have no idea what her captain was thinking. And after some manoeuvring, we let fly our torpedo in her
Aye,
direction.
sir.
She would learn the folly of engaging HMS Conqueror.
Sonar lost contact, Master 3, last bearing
The
2,
torpedo struck her
7,
amidships,
3, contact
fatally
breaking
wounding
up.
her. And the distant Grisha slowed and turned to assist her stricken consort. My crew prepared to receive the enemy ship as expected. She began circling in front of us, deploying noisemakers in an attempt to throw off any incoming torpedoes. And it was at this point that I realised my very British crew had somehow managed to master a very good American accent. Much to my consternation, I feared that if a Soviet sonarman might hear an American accent in his hydrophones, they would try double as hard to sink us, for you know how much the Soviets and the Americans love each other.
Sonar, noisemaker bearing 107.
The enemy continued to release noisemakers and turn erratically, but it was to no avail.
Con
The
sonar
torpedo
lost
struck
contact,
and she began to
Master
sink
4,
instantly.
last bearing 117, contact breaking up.
The convoy destroyed, we immediately turned for home.
Come left
HMS
to
Conqueror was going to need some time in dry dock after the damage we had
079.
received. And so we broke the surface near Faz Lane and headed into port.
Make turns for 109.
And we had time to reflect on our small but remarkable victory against 4 enemy ships. Upon getting into port, I learnt of the death of a good friend, a fellow captain of HMS Swiftshore. He was in a meeting in London at the time war was declared, and he, along with other Royal Navy colleagues, was killed by a cruise missile strike upon London, within a few hours of war being declared. And with HMS Conqueror in dry dock, I was to take command of Swiftshore immediately. I had my orders. HMS Swiftshore was of a more modern class of submarine compared to HMS Conqueror, and she was already seaworthy and ready to go. The very next night, we moved out of port under the cover of darkness. And when we was at our sort of land, I went to my safe and opened up my sealed orders from the Admiralty. Upon reading them, I ordered the boat to dive. We had orders to head north, under the ice. We were heading for the Arctic Circle. As per usual, I jolly well hope you enjoyed watching that video. That's the first part of my story set in the 1984 campaign of Cold Waters. So thank you very much for watching, and again, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like and comment and all that good stuff. If you'd like to see more, because I'm going to continue this for as long as I can manage, because it's quite a difficult video to create, I must admit. Please do subscribe, because there will be more coming. And like I said, leave comments, tell me what you think, tell me how I could improve it perhaps, and I'd really appreciate that. So don't forget to join me on my Discord, the link will be in the description, and also on Patreon and Twitter, all links will be in the description below. Thank you very, very much for watching. I am Quertier, I hope you have a very, very nice day, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye.